Hello, hello. Welcome to Healthy Perspectives, a podcast that takes on current cultural and social issues through a clinical lens. Hello, hello. All right, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. Iran is having an identity issue. They have officially reached a tipping point. I was having a conversation the other day, and somebody asked me, hey, how come Healthy Perspectives has not dealt with the Iran issue yet? I've slow walked this a little bit because I've been trying to figure out what angle exactly to take here. But this is your tip of the day, and it'll give you some hint as to where I'm going. Always account for design. Always account for design. If you go against the design of something, you often end up in really big trouble. If you turn a chainsaw backwards, big trouble. If you sit in the driver's seat and you turn the seat backwards, where you cannot see the road in front of you as you go, unless you're Mater, you're going to be in trouble. There is a design for human beings, a design to be in relationships, a design to be loved. There is a design for us, for you and me, to be unique and to belong. And these two concepts often appear to oppose one another, but they don't. Not at all. Unfortunately, some places, like here in the United States, are so focused on uniqueness that we've become dysfunctional. Oh, well, you can be this or you could be that, or pretty soon you can grow wings. No, sorry, you're unique and you're wonderful. And guess what? You're not growing wings. Yeah, you could pretend, you could put on a suit that has wings on it, but you're still not growing wings. You're just pretending. It's a fantasy. But in Iran, they're on the opposite side of that. They have been so fixated on making little miniature robots, making sure that all of the people are in compliance, that it's lost its uniqueness. Because everybody now belongs. Well, inevitably, when you try to pigeonhole any human being into one of those two categories, as opposed to it's both, you're unique and you belong, when you try to pigeonhole them in one of those two categories, you end up with a rebellion because it goes against the design. So in the United States, there's a little bit of a rebellion going on too. We have a rebellion of no identity. Well, many of us are struggling for identity. And the reason being is some people are saying, you got to be unique. You got to be unique. And others are saying, wait a minute, we're part of something bigger. And it's creating a conflict. Just like it is in Iran, only on the other side of the equation. You've got to conform. You've got to conform. You've got to conform. You're going to end up with a rebellion. Hence, here we are. Now, I could get into all of the politics of it. I've been keeping myself pretty well informed, but for today's purposes, not my agenda. I do cultural issues to teach current cultural issues to teach clinical content. And for today, design is the focus. If you look around, you'll see that many countries are struggling with identity right now. The UK, struggling with identity. Australia, struggling with identity. Israel, struggling with identity. See, they have convinced themselves that they are only the people that they're supposed to be if they have everything that God promised them. And that's just not how it works. You are the people of the Bible, regardless of where you live. Didn't we not see that in Egypt? You were still the people of the Bible, God's chosen people. We have to balance belonging with our uniqueness. We have to find where our uniqueness benefits the greater good, where we can hold on to who we are and still be part of something else. And that's a tough thing to do. What it means for Iran right now, it means they got to figure out who they are. Who they've been trying to be is not working for its people. The people of Iran are being pretty clear. When you have to force a people to be quiet, to silence them, that's a pretty clear indicator that you're on the wrong track. It's one of the beauties of being in the United States. There is an inherent built-in process to uniqueness and belonging. To be a citizen of the United States, you don't necessarily have to go through a ton of stuff. I mean, it may take a while, but if you come to the United States legally and you're willing to jump through those hoops, you can become a U.S. citizen. If you're born here, at least as of right now, you're a U.S. citizen. Internally right now, Iran has hit a diversity tipping point. Not much unlike the diversity tipping point that I spoke about in a podcast many, many months ago. In November of 23, I talked about the diversity tipping point. If you haven't listened to that, go back and listen to it. It's pretty interesting. But everything has a tipping point, and we have to pay attention to those. In the U.S., one of the things we highlighted in that podcast was here in the U.S., once there's enough uniqueness, then the question is, what identity do people hold on to? They don't. We start to lose grip. But in a flipped coin in Iran, when people are designed just like you and me, they're people, and they have been prevented from having any serious uniqueness, then people's gifts, talents, and abilities are going untapped. And they start to feel as though they don't matter. They've reached a tipping point. And they're holding on. They're squeezing, trying to figure out what to do with it from here. So let's just get to the hard questions. Is it right that the U.S. went in and attacked Iran? Truth is, I've been holding off on this one for a while because I'm not a political podcast. But the reality is, there are some great concerns about whether that was a morally defendable position. Don't know. We do know that Iran causes lots of trauma all over the place. Everything Iran touches has trauma. So how long do you let somebody harm everybody they come into contact with before somebody acts on that force? Apparently 47 years. That seems pretty patient, if I'm being honest. Now, how we did it, don't know. We could get into debates about that. I've heard debates, many debates actually. But if we don't account for the human design, we will never fix these things. Take you down one more path when it comes to Iran. Their identity has been wrapped up in a single superior power. And if we rip that carpet out from under them, there is a very good chance we could harm all of the people. Tell you how we do this in the clinical world. If somebody comes in and they're in an identity crisis, they have lost who they are. I don't pull out the remainder of what they think they know until we've built some ideas of who they might be. We put some groundwork underneath, because if I pull that carpet out and they go tumbling and they have no foundation whatsoever, I will have hurt them. Now, I could honestly sit back and say, but I didn't do it on purpose. And maybe that's the truth. But if you don't intentionally create some groundwork and you rip out a carpet, then you have some shared responsibility in the harm that's created. And I think that's where a lot of people feel the United States is right now. That we have ripped out a carpet. We have taken out all of these leaders, but they don't have any framework to build on outside of what has been in existence. So what they're doing is what any of us would do. Now, I'm not justifying it. Don't hear me. I'm not defending Iran's, harmful approaches. They've been harming people for a very long time, and that is not okay. But what I am doing is telling you, if we ripped out the carpet from underneath them, we now have some shared responsibility. If we didn't help them build something in its place, something that they could stand on. So what do we do from here? In identity work, we say, who have we been that is working? Who are we? And why is this not working? Who do we want to be? Where are we going? We need to paint them a target, something to aim for. Or what we're going to get is the same stuff we've been getting. Iran is skilled at oppressing its people. It's very good at it. If we don't teach those people how to stand up for themselves without oppressing others, then we have changed nothing. And how do we teach a people to do something like that in the middle of war and chaos? It's a very difficult challenge. It would have been ideal to do that before the war and the chaos so that they had some idea of what was going to be. Now, maybe we did. I don't know. I don't get those president briefings and stuff like that. But if we didn't do anything like that, we share part of the responsibility. And not just us at all. Now it's us, Israel, all these other places that have come alongside and said, Iran, you got to get your crap together. You got to do better. You are harming all of the people around you, and that is unacceptable. Now, last point. If we are going to enact any real change, it has to be done in unison. The United States cannot do it alone. Israel cannot do it alone. The European Union cannot do it alone. Nobody can do this by themselves. We were designed to be relational. So it's kind of like this. If you were an addict and you couldn't see that you needed any help, I might get the 5 or 6 closest people to you in your world together and sit you down and say something like, hey, this is an intervention. We are on the same page. We see that your addiction or your way of being is harmful to you and to everybody around you. And we have decided that we are going to fight like crud for you, not against you, for you. And some of the things that we're going to do may be uncomfortable while you learn, while you grow. Then we, those that have gathered for this intervention, have to be in unison, step by step. And there's nothing easy about that in international affairs. That's what would have to happen. People wanted to know where I was going with this. I think people really want to know, am I on Iran's side? Am I on the US side? Am I on the Israel side? Let me be abundantly clear. My side is starting with our design. Now, as an American, as a US citizen, I definitely want US to know who we are and live it out. And has this war in Iran caused some issues with that? Yes, it has. There has been some confusing messages in the US. What I would say to everybody who's listening, slow down. Get your stuff in order so that we can stop the confusion. Do it right and do it once rather than do it quick and then try to save it for the next 3 weeks. It creates a fog of war. Do it right, do it once. And if that means you have to wait for 3 weeks, for us almost 2 weeks, after a thing occurs, like what happened in Iran, so that you can speak intelligently about who you are while staying true to your design, well, then slow down and do that. You will become more trustworthy. You will become more reliable. That's a good thing because we need each other. It's very important. Now, remember, my tip of the day is always count for design. Don't take what I'm saying as reality. Challenge it. And if and when you find out it's reality, stay true to it. Be authentic. This one's a little bit more abstract, so thank you for hanging in there with me. I hope this helps in your conversation. I know I don't answer a lot of your questions in here, but I do speak directly to some human design components. And if you pick those up, you are going to be better. That makes us all better. Thank you for those of you who are balancing your need to belong with your uniqueness in a way that's beneficial to everybody and not just yourself. And if you're not doing those, start thinking about making a change. Maybe start making a change. Go see a counselor, go find a friend, talk about this stuff, share this with people, have conversation about it, and we'll see you next time.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening. We appreciate our audience a lot, so we give you some simple ways to track us down. Please like, subscribe, and follow all the podcasts on different platforms, but you can also email us at healthyperspectives@protonmail.com, or you can check out our website at healthy-perspectives.com/podcast. It's a backward slash. So if you want to go to our landing page, if you go to healthy-perspectives.com, you'll still find us. You just got to click on the podcast button. Thank you so much.